In reality, these sophisticated tools harness concentrated energy in various forms such as electromagnetic radiation, microwaves, lasers, or particle beams to target and impact specific victims.
You can only microwave radiate people so much. And what you'll see in my packet is a report from the Army on millimeter waves looking at 350 studies showing clear biological effects below thermal, below our safety guidelines. And what's interesting about this report is they said the subjects of these studies, 30 to 80% of them were aware of it because our skin and our eyes are going to absorb a disproportionate amount of this wireless radiation. So you're talking about serious effects to our skin and our nerves and venerate our skin. So you're talking about affecting our entire neurological system and exposing our eyes to military-grade wireless radiation, and our eyes have no natural defense against this. So you're talking about putting this in front of people's homes, forcing it into their rooms. This is absolutely absurd. We have video from the FCC proceedings with one of the 5G engineers saying themselves, look, we are forcing these directed beams into people's windows at levels that we do not allow in our labs, in our safety labs. This is absolutely absurd, and the FCC shrugged it off and said, this isn't an issue we need to be discussing today.
Okay, thank you.
One of the first people to ever blow the whistle on what she says is absolutely happening, and that our own government has been involved for decades, spraying chemicals into the air with no regard for the people those chemicals could be hurting. I want to welcome in former U.S. Air Force environmental specialist and geoengineering whistleblower Kristen Meghan.
These toxicants, formerly known as an MSDS, now an SDS, because they're the very same toxicants we were trying to engineer out of the workplace. So it's a shock to me that people still think it's not happening.
And we can all see it if you look up, and it just doesn't make sense, that it's coming from like a Delta flight flying overhead. It kind of takes away the organic from anything organic you're buying, because this is then sprayed into the air, and then and gravity brings it down. Eventually the rain brings it down, and it is all over all of us. What are these crops doing to people? Or I'm sorry, these chemicals doing to people?
Well, a lot of them are heavy alkaline metals and salts. And what they do, again, is that synergistic toxicity. You're breathing it in. You have the dermal absorption and an inhalation. And it does depend on relative humidity and different weather patterns. Like I live in Michigan, so we have all seasons in the same day.
Right.
So the dissipation rates are faster. When you ingest that, it is eating away at your gut health. And the thing is when they're using strontium and barium, those things bioaccumulate in the bones, and it also displaces potassium. And if anyone's ever had low potassium, that causes a massive issue with your nerves and your heart, and it can mimic a heart attack. So we're getting massively bombarded because, again, different routes of exposure, and depending on where you live, you can be more exposed already because you have background elements in your drinking water.
Jeez, it's so scary. Kristen, we appreciate you being with us again tonight. Thank you. Look forward to having you back. Kristen Meghan, again, one of the only people willing to talk about this publicly. Thank you.
Shit change, is that rain, huh? How strange, how to spray them clouds with them planes. Deep pain inside of these veins, deep pain in these veins, How strange, how they got these fibers, these strains.